Tuesday, the 2nd of January 2024, Birmingham City have officially sacked manager Wayne Rooney. The announcement came at 11 o'clock this morning after much speculation, and the club stated, despite best efforts, results have not met expectations, and therefore the board feels that a change in management is in the best interests. The club's board and management are fully aligned and will continue to drive transformation and take bold steps to rebuild Birmingham City into the organisation its fans and community deserve. The search for a successor begins with immediate effect and will update supporters when we have further news. So yeah, Rooney is no more. What a disaster of an appointment. Honestly, I don't know how we do it to ourselves. The relationship we have with that fucking self-destruct button is infuriating. Gary Rowett sacked in 2016, Gianfranco Zola winning only 2 in 23 games, Redknapp keeping us up and then pissing away 20 million quid on C-choice signings, putting Gary Monk in charge and going on arguably the best run of form we've been in since we were relegated 13 years ago in 2011, and then sacking him because Dong Ren didn't like him. And now Rooney. What is the matter with us? Is there some sort of spell people in charge get put under when we go in a good run of form? Why do we have to be like this? And look, it's all wise after the event, but I'll admit I was optimistic at the start. I wanted it to work. And I'm not going to pretend I felt a different way because, I didn't and I can't. There's video proof of me saying those things on a podcast. And I'm not upset with Gary Cook for his idea he had. We do need a winning mentality, as one of the buzzwords that was used in the statements when people weren't happy about Rooney being put in charge. And, I agree with that statement as well. We've been a championship football club for, like I've said, for 13 years now. It's not him that I'm unhappy about, it's Rooney. He has shown to me that he can't manage a team on the pitch. We were in the playoffs when he got put in charge. He had an international break to get things set up and prepare for his first game against Middlesbrough. And what does he do? He comes in and changes completely everything. And that's been the theme of his time at Blues, and I imagine pretty much everywhere else he's been too. He needed to have had some compromise, and I feel like I've said that a million times in this past few months, but for God's sake, that Borough game, I could have won that. Anybody could have, because all you needed to do was put the same team out that beat West Brom. Playing a high line with a team that you've had for less than a month was suicidal. It's just, yet again, that self-destruct phase we seem to go through. Things are going too well, delete! And that trend just continued, really. And the fans had enough, as you'd have seen if you'd gone to the game yesterday, and if you've watched my vlog, which you can watch here, I think it is. It's got nearly 10,000 views, I think. So, I'm feeling a bit nauseous about that. But it was the right decision to sack him today. He was never going to win the fans back over. His time was up. It was time to go. And I'll admit, after the Cardiff game, I thought this could be a turning point. I thought we played well against Leicester too, but the blindfold got taken off against Stoke. And then I felt that it just wasn't going to happen, that his time was limited. For a Boxing Day fixture at St Andrews against Stoke, that was the worst Boxing Day game I've ever been to. It was flat, it was dull, it was shit. And the Bristol City game amplified that. It just showed me that one win against Cardiff isn't enough to get the form going. We needed to have won games earlier on. And as soon as that Bristol City game was halfway through, I knew he wasn't going to last. And plus with the way that the fans reacted at the end of that game as well, And like I said, it was the right decision to sack him. Because yesterday was so bad, I spent most of the game practicing my filming. And I mentioned this in the video, yes, Leeds are a good team. But I was frustrated with us all afternoon. We were again flat, dull, shit, and a complete waste of money. Not one bit of that game was worth going to yesterday. Not one bit, apart from me capturing the bit about us singing to sack Rooney. But I don't want to see that each week. I was kind of hoping we were away from all of that. I thought at the start of the season, this is the new Blues. We finally got some investors who care and are invested in us as a fan base, as a team, as a club. And I'm not against Gary Cook in any of this. My God, I'm fucking so glad he is here. I spent hours last season campaigning to get rid of the owners. Signing petitions, starting up my own petitions, podcasts, banners, posters, protests, vlogs, fucking everything. It was so draining and I just felt like it was never going to happen. But it did, and it took off like a rocket. And you gave me one of the best days at St Andrews I've ever had. That Leeds game was second to the West Ham Carling Cup game. And when Djukovic scored that penalty, I I could have cried, honestly. I was just so happy. And supporting the Blues these past few years of my life has been such a chore. And, I've not had easy times myself either. And Blues didn't help with that apathetic mentality I had. And yes, obviously Blues have never helped really. But one of the best things I dreamt about when I was younger was taking a friend to the Blues, because I never had, friends who supported the Blues. Obviously I live up north, so they all support United, Liverpool, City, and no one did when I was living in Birmingham. They all supported Villa and Wolves and West Brom. The crowd was always amazing. The football was exciting. It was a great day out. I can't think of anything worse now. The crowd is fucking dormant. The football is garbage, and it's just 90 minutes sitting around moaning. No one wants to go to that. I don't want to go to that. So something has got to change, and that's why this next appointment has got to be right. Bollocks to your attractive football. It don't work. I don't even like it anyway. I'd much rather get beat while watching Ivan Stunic smack into the back of someone, Siriki Dembele screaming away on the counter-attack, and Lukas Djukovic thundering in a booming header after elbowing his way past 3 players. That is, to me, like many other Blues fans feel, is fun. And that's what's been missing from the Blues over these past few years. It's just not fun anymore. And the start of the season was. The fans were starting to come back and, obviously winning helps. But it was the environment that made that. It was the vibe around the ground. The look and feel of the team, And yes, we lost to Watford. We lost to Preston. We drew with Millwall. We probably could have won that one. But it didn't matter because, we were happy. We were alive and interested in the club again. And that's why that open house was so good, because they were showing to us, for the first time, different projects they had lined up. Like projects that involve Blues. You look at those things, you think, that can't be Blues. It's like fucking unbelievable. And those projects are still amazing. And it was an honour to have gone to it. It's just the Rooney project that didn't work. And again, look, wise after the event, but I'll be honest about this. But I was sat in that room with Rooney thinking, yeah, he might be onto something. I thought from the footage that they showed us, the players were starting to get the hang of the fast-playing football. The build-up is starting to get there. A good win and we might be back on track. And, that's where my theory of one win and the form might follow, But it didn't. And referring back to those Stoke and Bristol City games, when plan A, the fast passing possession football don't work, we just went, fuck it, and then did whatever. And that's got to change. So what now? Where do we go from here? Well, the dream, I think, in many people's minds is Graham Potter, but that's not going to happen. I mean, with how unstable we are at the moment and the fact that he's probably linked with bigger jobs, but he's got a clause people need to pay out from Chelsea still that I think is over about 20 million, so he's off the list. How about Steve Cooper? Recently sacked at Forest, took them from bottom of the table to promotion back in 2022. I think one of his first games was against us, actually. He fucking thrashed us 3-0. He'd be ideal and something really to get optimistic about, because that Forest team was immense. And, I could compare a few players that we've got now to a few of the players that Forest had, actually. But again, we're just unstable. I don't think he would want to come to us at this point. So maybe at the end of the season, which in the meantime would mean a fill-in manager. So perhaps someone like Tony Mowbray, maybe. I like Tony Mowbray, actually. I think he's been hard done by teams that he's been at with in the past. Blackburn were doing pretty well with him when he was sacked, and same with Sunderland, actually. So, and plus he's got a winning track record. He can turn teams around and get him playing them pretty decently. However, I'm a little hesitant whether fans would take to him, and maybe it could be another Rooney or a Zola. I don't know, but there is one choice that is piquing my interest. Gary Rowett, the manager we sacked 8 years ago, could be the answer to all of our problems. Who'd have thunk it? And when you truly think about it, he ticks all the right boxes. He hasn't got a release clause we need to pay off, so he'll be cheap. You give him a short contract till the end of the season. He can win games, we've fucking seen that with our own eyes before. He gets the club, he gets the fans. In my opinion, he should be appointed. But yeah, it's not a nice time to be in again. I really don't like these times. I know some people really do. It's like a bit of drama and everything, but I couldn't care less, honestly. It really depresses me, and watching that game yesterday was flat and horrible, and just like I said, a waste of money, and it's just fucking awful to be a Blues fan again. And like I said, I always wanted to take a friend to the Blues, and right now I can't think of anything worse, and I don't think that they would enjoy it and they'd be like, yeah, I ain't coming again. But yeah, let me know what you think to the whole situation in the comments down below. Are you feeling better after Rooney's been sacked, or are you feeling that we could be a relegation candidate now? We'll be doing a live podcast tonight, the first one we've done in quite a while. We'll be doing it very interactively too, so we'll be reading out a lot of your comments throughout the show. So tune in for that. Like and subscribe and keep right on.